I get tired of staring at your finger.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Well, that's your
Jody's
cue.
always like this, waiting for the thing to start, and then she points at me, and it's like, you did it, you did it. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. So I had this really great plan yesterday morning. I was going to do sausage, and I had some brown rice. I was going to eat really healthy, and then I invited these guys, and they said, we're only coming if we're having corned beef. So, got some corned beef, boiled it for 3 hours to get it tender. And so we're having corned beef and potatoes instead of sausage and rice. There's my corned beef. This was cooked yesterday. This is from the pectoral muscle of the cow. So it's a very tough cut of meat, but it's very popular because of its flavor and its texture when it's cooked, which takes a long time in braising technique. So my first goal is to defat it. What I'm going to do is slice it real thin, put a little pan with water, and bring that water warm up. I want to warm it up in liquid. As you can see, there's a lot of fat there, and yeah, you got to pay for that stuff. So I usually take this little guy off. This is just part of the rest of the muscle, and I'll defat that. And yeah, I wouldn't even give this to my dog just because it's got so much pickling spice in it that it might not necessarily be good for him. So I'm just going to take off most of the fat. And one of the nice things about brisket, it's great once it's cooked. Of course, one of our legends at the school is doing smoke cooking classes. One of the sort of the holy grail of smoke cooking is smoking a brisket. However, most people end up doing it wrong and end up with what we call a briquette. They cook it long and slow in a smoker without any moisture, and the thing dries out, and then you can throw it through a window, i.e. brick it. So, whenever I smoke a brisket, I make sure there's lots of water in the smoker, in a pan, keeping everything nice and moist. The last thing I'm doing is cutting it really thin and a bit across the grain, and then cutting enough for all four of us, because our alumni, Mr. Nathan, is here today. He's literally trying to figure out excuses to always come with his mom on breakfast day and then do his homework after that, right? Right. Pretty smart kid.
It is working.
He knows where the food is. Yeah, I would say his mom and dad trained him well.
He's also clear about why he comes, aren't you?
Yeah, he's also not trying to play any games. He said, yeah, I want the food. So that's good. Anyway, so that's basically, this was about a 3-pounder. I'm going to do enough of it for us all to enjoy. And all I really want to do for this is I'm just going to lay it out in the pan. I don't want to boil it. I want to heat it. So I'm just going to add some water. I've got my oven on. And once that water gets hot, I'm just going to pop it in the oven. Because all I want to do is reheat it. And I don't want to boil it anymore. High heat's just going to make it tighten up again. I want it nice and tender. And there you go. Bob's your uncle. Alright, with that said, we're having potatoes. So these are basically nuclear potatoes. I nuked them. And they are just like a baked potato. Great way to make breakfast potatoes. So all I'm going to do is get my skillet heating up, and I have my favorite cutting style. So I like to cut them in quarters and then slice them acrossways. These are fully cooked, so we're not going to cook them. We're going to get them browned in that oil, and that's going to help us get a little crispy on the outside, but nice and tender on the inside. I know it's Pete. Pete made national news. Pete's Kitchen, best diner in Colorado. One of those news feeds. Of course, you know, who knows who writes those things, but you know, there it was, right next to some joint in Arizona. After California, you know, it's alphabetical. But Pete was a great guy, great restaurant guy. What he would do for his breakfast potatoes, he would take whole potatoes and boil them until they were completely tender, let them cool, and then run them through a big slicing machine, and then fry them. And of course, his potatoes are really popular, and of course, you always got a ton of them because that was the cheapest part of the meal, and that would help make a lot of money, which he did. So generous with the oil because it's going to absorb. And there's my, I just want to feel some heat on that. I want to see a little bit more boil. And I think I got a lid. Hey, buddy. My dog's here joining us today because he likes brisket too. So we're just going to cover that and pop it in our nice hot oven. And again, we're not really cooking it. We're just warming it, and I'm using moisture to keep it tender. All right, plenty of potatoes, enough for all of us, I hope. You should see Nathan eat. This may not be enough. All right. And our fifth special guest, my dog. Hey, buddy. All right. So, in honor of St. Patrick's Day, we're having carrots. Once again, I do not peel the carrots. I just want to scrub them. I want the skin. We talked about this before. Food waste. The skin has the most amount of nutrition. With basic vegetables, the simple rule is nutrition concentrates towards the skin. So whenever you can eat the skin, you're doing better. However, they take a long time to cook unless you cut them real thin. Let me get my handle dry here. I don't want this thing slipping in my hand. So what I like to do, of course, I want to have them ready to eat with a fork. So I'm going to cut them long and thin. Normally I would do half a carrot for myself, but I got 4.5 mouths to feed. Do you want a carrot, babe? Let's see if he eats a carrot. I never tried to feed him a carrot. There you go. See if you can get going on that. So again, nice and thin.
He dropped it.
And then thin again. So julienne cut. That'll get those carrots to cook real quick. And even if they're not totally cooked, they'll still be pretty tender. So, there's always a method to all of my culinary madness. They're just a problem to peel. So if you have a mandolin that you like to use, if you're not really up to speed on your knife skills, mandolins are cutting tools. Just people always say, what's the best way to use a mandolin? I always say, let somebody else do it for you, so you cut yourself. And also use a safety glove. They make fiberglass safety gloves. And basically, it's just a slicing tool to get things as firm vegetables cut really thin. However, if you got mad knife skills like yours truly, you may not need that. So I'm not going to do peas today because I'm not going to do peas and carrots. I'm going to do asparagus and carrots. Still want to eat our rainbow. Eat the rainbow, Batman. I want to hear you say, Batman. Go ahead. You're on camera. You're going out to the whole world. Just say, I'm Batman.
My mommy said not to talk.
Well, you just talked. You just blew that because you just spoke. No, it's don't speak unless spoken to. Does that make sense? That's good. Just
Life lessons today.
Okay,
Life
you'll learn that
lessons.
as you get older. All right. Let me get my big, because I'm going to use this for the eggs. Big non-stick skillet. And carrots will go in first. I want to get the rest of my veggies going. We're going to use harissa to flavor everything. We did that last week, and it was delicious. Again, it's just a nice little pepper paste, a Moroccan pepper sauce. Very simple, very delicious, very red. And I did buy the mild version. There, you can get it mild or hot. Pardon me?
I saw a spicy one at the store the other day.
Yeah, if Devin was here, Devin's one of our chefs who's been to Morocco and studied the cuisine. He would always recommend spicier. And that's fine. My stomach has finally said, Dan, you've had enough super hot food in this lifetime, so tone it down a little bit. So again, I'm cutting the asparagus the same way. Just taking off the bottom inch and cutting it nice and thin so it'll cook quickly. Cut this thin, it'll cook as fast as peppers and onions. And I think with all the other food we got going, just a couple more of these should do it. Right. Yep, let them out. There we go. All right, so pan's getting hot. Get some oil in. while I'm thinking about it, let's get some salt and pepper on the potatoes. Open it wider. Bentley, outside. Go on. There you go. It's a family affair.
It is a family affair today.
Family affair. Well, the only problem is it's mostly your family.
Uh-huh,
I had to have Bentley here to even out the odds.
There you go.
Okay, carrots first.
And then it's just
Those will start getting tender. I'm not going to season those until I add the rest of the vegetables. See how our potatoes are doing. Yeah, look at that. We got some nice golden brown. Got one on the stovetop. And that's what I'm looking for. Just some golden brown. To get some crisp. These aren't hash browns. These are home fries. Hash browns would be grated, of course. And I just don't really feel like doing it. Okay. I have a chunk of red onion left, which was going to be fine when it was just Jody and me, and then I invited more people. So we're going to cut part of this one, and then part of the next one too. Always using what's first. And by the way, I'm going to do something in the middle here. I'm just going to turn off the oven with the briskets in it and just keep warm. Again, it was just a task of reheating. To finish our rainbow today, we've got a red bell pepper. So, I'm not going to do too much of this, just enough to give us a nice rainbow. Okay, then everything cut thin so it cooks quick. And while this is cooking, I'm going to grate some cheese because we're going to have cheesy scrambled eggs. Nate's favorite. It's all about you, even though you won't talk. You're talking.
I was about to make cheesy eggs this morning, but then we were coming here.
Then you knew you were coming here and you said, oh boy, I get out of that task. I don't have to make cheesy eggs.
Yeah.
Because Chef Dan's going to do it.
You like to practice what you learn here, though, don't you?
That's good. That's why we're here. It's not just fun and games. We want people to empower a better breakfast. That's the number one goal. A better breakfast is just that. It's going to be more sustaining. It's going to be fuel that burns for a long time. Just having a donut in the morning with coffee, sugar spike, crash, then where are you? So, those are coming along nicely. I'm only going to cook those for a minute. Those are ready to serve, essentially. I just want to get a little more brown on them. And with that said, got to show off a little bit. I'm going to move that to the back burner and just keep them warm. And then grab my other skillet. Well, maybe not. That's right, I got the brisket in it. That was brilliant, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so there's no way around it. I got to dirty one more pan. So, what we're going to do is get some cheese ready and get our eggs ready. I'm not going to use a bowl because I don't feel like it. This is a really beautiful goat Gouda that I particularly love. And we need a chunk big enough for everybody. And I'm just going to set my grater in there. And Nate, would you open the door and let the dog in, please? All these tasks. Is he at the bottom of the stairs, Nathan? Yeah, there he comes. There we go. And of course, now that he's gone outside and taken care of his business, he has to get a treat. So I'm going to have to stop grating cheese and grab some. The ultimate dog crack cocaine. which is
Get this one?
freeze-dried liver treats. That's it. Oh my God, they're freeze-dried liver treats. There you go. Bentley, go on, look. Call him, his name's Bentley. There you go. Yep. Literally crack cocaine for dogs. So. Let's get this done quickly. So, I'm still trying to figure out how many eggs I've cracked in this lifetime. I think it's about 1 million. Not sure. I'm sure it's a really scary number that would probably make me very depressed if I actually knew the actual number. So, I'm trying not to think about it too much. We had one guy working with us that he'd been a breakfast cook for 15 years. And in a really high volume place in Southern California, we figured he had cracked 1.5 million eggs in his lifetime.
That's incredible.
He got really, really depressed. Yeah, it was not what he really wanted to hear. Okay, those vegetables are starting to soften up. In fact, that looks just about soft enough. So, temperature down, greens in. These have been great. I got these greens at Costco, and they were really nice and fresh. This is almost a week old, and they're still keeping their nice green. A lot of times you buy wilted greens, they're bad in 3 or 4 days. So keep them in a good place in your fridge. And you know, if you're not going to eat a lot of them, buy a smaller quantity. When I can, I buy them at Costco, but then I need to burn them up pretty quick. So here we go. Nice hot brisket. What I'm going to do is cheat. I'm just going to slide all this right over there. And pop that in the oven to stay warm. Time to eat. And then the handle pop. Careful of that. Here we go. Multitasking. The chef's way of life. Salt and pepper. And now the pan's hot, so I don't necessarily need to heat it up. What I need to do is finish everything else up. So it's time to get the plates out. Chris, spread those out. Nathan. Whenever I do scrambled eggs, I like to have everything else done in advance. So I want to make sure these are wilted, which is the last step. I don't like them when they're completely raw. I like them just wilted. It's just a more enjoyable way to eat these power greens. They can be a little intense when they're raw in terms of texture, of big strong flavors. So the wilting softens everything up just a little bit.
Can you eat the brisket?
Brisket's in the oven.
No, he's eating.
Oh, you dropped it.
Oh, that's fine.
You got that?
Yeah, I won't kill him. Will it? I don't know. All right. So, we're looking good here. So, I'm going to ask for a little help. Chris, if you will, divvy up the potatoes. And when you're done with that, you can, I'll get you a pair of tongs, and you can give everybody a little, I would start with a smaller amount of brisket, maybe 2 or 3 slices per person, and we can always have more when we're done. And then here we go with this. Good. All right. You're drafted, so here we go.
That when you grab it and just dump it.
The really big plate will be Nathan's, because, you know, he's a growing boy. And then here's this, there's tongs, you can divvy up the vegetables, and I'll get going on the eggs. Just remember that handle's hot, Dan.
Yeah, ouch.
this little rectangular thing fits better than dishwasher anyway. So remember the handles out, Dan. This is gonna go real fast, and as always, I like to put the eggs over the vegetables. So let me grab this. There's that. Here's the brisket. Now let's scramble. So if you have an Instapot or any kind of a pressure cooker, you can cook that brisket in about 45 minutes. But in just a regular pot, a brisket can take 2 3/4 to 3 hours to get fully tenderized. But my tenderizing check is this. All I want to do is run that, when that meat's hot and I think it's done, I want that skewer to run through and basically have no resistance. If I put it in and it lifts out with the skewer, it's still too tough. And that's a real simple way to check any braised meat. We need to do something next week, a little creative, but maybe we'll do frittatas. Or one giant frittata. Again, the rule for me is just take the shine off the eggs. I don't want, and nothing is worse. Well, there is one thing worse than overcooked scrambled eggs, and that, of course, for me is hard-boiled eggs. I don't like them. But I don't like my scrambled eggs overcooked. The cheese can certainly help. And a lot of people will add a little milk to help them stay creamy, but just don't overcook them, and they'll be nice and creamy. See how those are getting nice and smooth. We're almost done here, guys. Heck of a breakfast. All we need is beer, huh? I have some non-alcoholic beer. Should we put a little dollop right in the middle of each plate with a spoon? There we go. Big meals. Okay, this one's yours. So there's yours. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna be. This is like lumberjack quantities today. But, as I said, we're planning on getting a lot done today. And the nice thing about all this is you won't end up, put it right on the veggies. You won't feel bloated. This is the kind of food, the potatoes might get a little bulky, but this isn't stick to your ribs food. Not so much. This is just energy sustaining food, even with the potatoes and the brisket. So, happy St. Patrick's Day, as we said. We're getting ready to eat. We're just putting the harissa as a little condiment on the side. We're just going to call that Middle Eastern ketchup today. And have a nice plate. Take a look over there. Nice meals. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, you can continue to watch these. If you're looking for good ideas, we do have quite a library now under my hashtag. What's that hashtag, Jody?
TSC Home Cooks, usually.
Stay at Home Cook on Facebook. Anyway, we've shot dozens of these now, and you can start to archive them, help you with the shopping. Start thinking about getting this kind of meal program going towards your day. Get up a little bit early, get things going. Find yourself with better energy throughout the day. That's the most important thing. And that's always been my contribution to you guys. Enjoy your food and make it work for you. Thank you very much. Start drinking heavily. It is St. Patrick's Day, and we'll see you next week.